Hello, welcome back. So now in this part, we will design a problem which is basically based on short column design. So this is the problem. In this, we are supposed to design a square column to carry an axial load of 1000 kilonewton. The unsupported length of column is 3.1 meter and the column is effectively held in position and restrained against the rotation from both the ends. So here the end conditions of the column is also given, how firmly it is connected, and the grade of column, the grade of concrete and grade of steel is also provided here. So here the given data is the unsupported length is given, which is 3.1 meter, and the design load is also given, how much load it will supposed to carry. So that will be 1000 kilonewton, and then the end conditions is also given. So end conditions will be used to find out the L effective, which is the product of K into L. Now K is dependent on the end conditions. So here end conditions is given as it is effectively held in position and restrained against the rotation, which means if the column is connected from both the ends, so this end is basically fixed, which means the column will not translate along the x direction or the y direction, and also it will not be rotating, so which means the ends of the columns are fixed, and for fixed end the value of K is 0.65, so which means in this case L effective will be 0.65 times of L. So this is how we can find out the effective length in this case, because the end conditions is given. So now we will start our problem. So the first step is to find out the permissible stresses using the IS code table. So here we will be referring table 21 and 22. So I have shown you these two tables in the previous part. So you can refer to these table to find out the value of sigma CC and sigma SC. So sigma CC for M20 grade of concrete will be 5 Newton per mm square, and sigma SC for HYSD bar will be 190 Newton per mm square. Then we will move to the next step, which is to find out the total axial load on column. The total axial load on column is already given, which is 1000 kilonewton. And in this, we don't have sufficient data to find out the self weight of column. So in this, we will assume that it is inclusive of its self weight. Then we will move to the next step, which is determination of gross cross-sectional area, which means we are supposed to find out AG. AG is total cross-sectional area of column required to carry this load. So this we can find out by using the equation. This equation can be used to find out the AG. Now in this, first we have to assume the percentage of steel. So generally we assume percentage of steel as 1%. Now 1% means AC will be 0.99 kg and ASC will be 0.01 kg. So this is what I have explained in the previous steps, previous part. So we will put this value, this value in place of AC and this value in place of ASC. Now by putting this, so here I have written AC is the 99% of AG, which is I have explained earlier also. So AC becomes 0.99 AG and ASC becomes 0.01 AG. So putting these value in this equation, so we already have P. See, we will find out AG in terms of mm square. Area of cross section of column will be in terms of mm square. Now it means we have to convert our load into Newton, because these permissible stresses are also given in Newton per mm square. So that is why we have to convert this P value in Newton as well. So 1000 kilonewton multiplied by 10 raised to power 3 and 0.5 is the sigma cc and 0.99 ag is the ac, plus 190 is the sigma sc and 0.01 ag is the asc. Now in this only ag is unknown, so by solving this we can find out the value of ag as 145,985.40 mm square. So this completes our step 3. Now in step 4 we will now determine the dimensions of the column. So as the column is square in size, because it is already mentioned in the problem that we are supposed to design a square column, which means square column will have all the sides same. So in this, B can be calculated as under root area of cross section. So with this area of, the dimension of B is 382 mm, which means one side is 382.08. So generally what we do is we uh, round off this value to the lower side. So we will round off the value and we will adopt the size of column as say 350 by 350. Now you may question that why we have not round off this value to the higher side. We can have 400 by 400 as well. Well, if you increase the dimension more than required, as you can see, this is the required dimension, and you are assuming dimension more than that. In that case, the area of cross section, total area of cross section will be high. And in this total area of cross section, the percentage of steel may get down by 0.8%. It may be less than 0.8%. So as I have explained that as per IS code recommendation, minimum area of steel in the column should not be less than 0.8%. So if you increase the area, then area of steel may decrease and it may go less than 0.8%. So to avoid this possibility, generally what we do is we round off this value to the lower side. So I have round off this value to the lower side, say to get a standard size of say 350 by 350, and that is the reason is written here also. Adopting the dimension of column on the higher side may reduce the percentage of longitudinal steel lower than the minimum of 0.8%. So that is why we have adopted or we have round off the value to the lower side. So that is the reason there. Now, once we fixed the dimension of the column, then we will move to the next step, which means we are supposed to find out effective length and ultimately the slenderness ratio to check whether our column is a short column or long column. So in this, we know that effective length is depending on the end conditions. And as I have explained in the initial, in the start of the problem, that our column is fixed from its end, which means the ends are fixed. So for that, L effective is 0.65 times of L. This is actually L. So putting the value here, L is given as 3.1 meter. So putting the value of 3.1 in place of L, we get the effective length of column as 2.275. Now, as you can see, this is a square column. So least lateral dimension in this will be B. So dividing the effective length by the least lateral dimension, which is 350. So we get the value of lambda as 6.5. So as you can see, this 6.5 is less than 12, which means our column is a short column. Now we have identified that our column is a short column. It means there is no, we don't do any changes in that. We will simply move to the next step to find out the area of steel in compression, actual area of steel in compression. So that we will do again by using equation 1. Now in the equation 1, what we will do is we will put area of concrete equals to Ag minus Ac, because we know that Ag is equals to the sum of Ac plus Asc. In this, if you see, this is the column and it is comprising the steel and area of concrete as well. So this is Ac and this is Asc. So total area of steel, total area of column will be the sum of AC and ASC. So we can write AC is equals to AG minus ASC. So in this, by replacing AC with this value in equation 1, we get here, in place of AC, we will put this value. So in that case, the unknown value will be ASC only, because this AG is already calculated. This AG will be the actual area of column that we have adopted. So we have adopted dimension of column as 350 by 350. So that is the actual AG. So we will put the value of AG as 350 by 350 in place of this. So now here you can see this is P5 into AG is 350 by 350 minus ASC and plus 190 into ASC. So in this equation now the unknown value becomes ASC only. So by solving this equation we can get the value of ASC as 2094.594. So this is the area of steel in the column that we are going to provide. So minimum area of steel to be provided there is 2094.594. Now we have to convert this area into the number of bars that we have to provide. And as per IS code, minimum number of bars to be provided in a square column will be 4, which means at each corner there should be at least a bar. So minimum number of bars can be 4. And similarly, if we have to increase the number of bar, then on each faces there should be equal bar. So if we increase the 4 to the next level, then the next possible value is 8 bars. So either we have 4 bars, then next possible number is 8 bars, because we want to provide our reinforcement on each face as equal reinforcement. So on each face you can see there are 3 bars. Similarly, in case of 4 bar, at each face it was 2 bars. So here we have to first assume the dia of bar, and based on that dia of bar we will then find out the number of bars. So area of steel is calculated. Now we will find out the number of bars. So for that, say we assume that 20 mm dia bars to be used, and area of cross section for 20 mm dia bar will be pi d square by 4, which means pi 20 square by 4, it becomes 314. So that is the area of cross section of 1 bar, and that is the total area of cross section of 1 bar. So number of bars will be total area of cross section divided by area of cross section of 1 bar. So with this we can find out the number of bars as 6.67. So as you can see, this 6.67 is more than 4 bars and less than 8 bars. So at least we have to provide 8 bars in our column. So that is why I have rounded off this number to 8. So why I have not rounded off this number to 7, because minimum 8 bars to be provided in our column in case of 20 mm dia bar. Now if we adopted 16 mm, then in that case number of bars would be more than 8. If we adopt 25 mm dia of bar, in that case it would be around 5. It would be around 5. So in that case also the area of steel to be we can't decrease this number to 4, and increasing this number to 8 will cost us more area of steel. So that is why this 20 mm dia is a suitable number. That is why I have assumed 20 mm dia of bar. So in your problem you can check number of bars by taking different dia of bar to suit the requirement. So we are providing here 8 bars. As you can see, only 6.67 bars are required as per this area of steel, but we are providing 8 bars. So it means area of bars to be provided will be increased. So now what is the actual area of bar provided? It is 8 multiplied by number of, area of cross section of one bar. So this 8 into pi d square, which is 20 square by 4. So this becomes this value, which is 2512. So required area of steel is 2094, but we are providing 2512 because minimum 8 bars to be provided there. So with this, we can find out the percentage of steel. So percentage of steel will be area of steel divided by total cross-sectional area and whole multiplied by 100. So with this, we can find out the percentage of steel, and percentage of steel worked out as 2.05%. So you can see this 2.05% is more than 0.8%, which is the minimum percentage of reinforcement required in the column, and it is also less than 6%, which is the maximum limit of reinforcement to be provided in the column. So it means the percentage of steel is okay from as per IS code recommendations. And that is same I have written, the percentage of steel is provided greater than 0.8% and less than 6%. So therefore it is fine. Now we will move to the next step, which means we have to find out transverse reinforcement. Now in the form of transverse reinforcement, we will be calculating basically the lateral ties. So first we will find out the lateral ties dia and pitch. What should be the spacing of lateral ties? So these two things we will find out as per IS code. So I have explained earlier also the codal provision of transverse reinforcement. So as per those codal provisions, we will first assume the dia of bar. So as per IS code recommendations, the dia of lateral ties shall not be less than 1/4 of the dia of the largest longitudinal bar, subjected to a minimum of 6 mm. So as you can see in our column, till now we have designed only the bars running along the length of column, and the dia of this bar is uniform, which is 20 mm. So as per IS code recommendations, the dia of lateral ties shall not be less than 1/4 of the dia of largest bar. So 1/4 of 20 mm, it is 5 mm, and it says subjected to a minimum of 6 mm. So at least 6 mm, so it should be at least 6 mm. So 5 mm or 6 mm. So as per IS code, at least 6 mm dia of lateral ties should be there. But because we are using HYSD bar, and in HYSD bars, minimum dia of bar available in the market is 8 mm. So therefore, we will adopt the lateral dia of bar as, lateral ties dia as 8 mm dia. So that is what I have written. The dia of lateral ties shall not be less than 1/4 of 20 mm dia, which is it should be 5. So 5 mm or 6 mm. So in this, ideally it should be 6 mm, but we have to take 8 mm dia because minimum dia of bar available in case of HYSD steel, it is 8 mm. So dia of lateral ties is adopted, which is 8 mm dia. Now next is to find out the pitch. So as per IS code recommendations, pitch shall not be more than the least of the following. So there are 3 points. First is the least lateral dimension of the column, and least lateral dimension of the column in our case is 350 mm. Second is 16 times of dia of longitudinal reinforcement of bar. So you can see the dia of bar is 20 mm that we are using as a longitudinal reinforcement, and 16 times. So 16 into 20, it becomes 320. So that is the second point. Then third point is 300 mm. So these are as per IS code recommendations. So 350, 320 and 300. So the least value is 300 mm. So now we can say that the pitch of reinforcement, pitch of lateral ties is 300 mm. So we can say that provide lateral ties 8 mm dia at the rate of 300 center to center. So that completes our design. Now the last step is to draw the reinforcement sketch of column. So reinforcement sketch of column is provided here. So here you can see this is the dimension of the column, and 350 by 350, and these are the number of bars that we are providing, which is 8 number of bars. So lateral ties to hold the 4 corner bar is this one, and to hold this bar, and this bar, we have provided the link. So I have shown you earlier that there can be various arrangement of the lateral ties in case of column. So either you provide links, or otherwise we could have provided one more ring like this also. So this is also could be a arrangement. And this distance, because you can see this distance is exceeding 75 mm, that is why we have provided these rings. So that is also need to be checked on. So in the next part, we will discuss another type of column, which is helically reinforced column. Thank you.